defending. I think it's like.
People deluded. I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Bro.
Thank you very much, Ian Wright. And with an intro like that, what more can I say apart from people deluded? I'm back again. First things first, one love for tuning in. I hope you're doing well and safe. Please don't forget, if you haven't, to like, comment and subscribe during this vid. Obviously, if you're catching it on a rerun, I always read the comments, and I think football is a game of opinions and it's very subjective. So I love to see you lot's point of view. So make sure you're getting that in. As usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Hopefully everyone's having a progressive week. Hopefully everyone's making moves, and we're all gonna have a strong end to the year, man. And if you're going through hardship, keep pushing, man. Tough times and good times don't last. We're here forever, so we've got to be solid in that regards. As usual, very appreciative of all the content people. You've helped us grow our channel to over 50,000 subs. The job's not done, man. 100k the next target, and so on and so forth, people. So enough waffling, enough rambling. Let's look at what's going on in the latest talking points / transfer news. Now, the bulk of these transfer news, now, as you know, are all BS. The dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. So if you allow me to share my screen, let's begin, people. First things first, shout out all the Arsenal accounts that do all these keeping up to date with all the news and stuff like that. They make my live streams a lot easier. Shout out to Arsenal Buzz as well. He's quite good at that. But Charles Watts has offered a video. I'm sure you've all seen it, but apparently Arteta trusts Nketiah. That's why he worked so hard to keep him in the summer. Neither he nor Edu will bring someone in if they do not believe it is for the best long term, which a striker could be. But on one hand, if you've been chasing Jesus, if you got Jesus and he fits the short, medium, and long term, you could argue, does it make sense to bring in a striker essentially just to cover 2 months? Now, if there's a striker that fits our system, that can grow, that can give us a strong collective squad, you know, there is a case to bring in a striker anyways, regardless of Jesus' current injury. We're hoping for all the best with him and a solid recovery. Mudryk's been on the radar for some time. Club looking at Danilo and Tielemans. So I wouldn't say that's anything new. That's the account you can hit up if you want to. Arsenal are reluctant to recall Balogun midway from his loan, as it's clear how much he's benefiting from playing week in and week out in Liga. That's true. On the topic of 2 months, if Jesus is out for 2-3 months, that could make or break your season. So this is why I say make sure you're hitting the like button, offering your own opinions. Arsenal's priority in the market before Jesus' injury was bringing in another winger and a centre mid, and that might not change it. Probably the dynamic has to shift. Let's be real. Arteta, Edu, and anyone, if they're sitting in the boardroom, some are probably getting a bit of itchy fingers and cold feet. Do we bring in a striker? Can we bring in a striker? Some people don't want to. Some probably want to. It's a collaborative effort. Obviously, they're smarter and they understand football more than us, but they're probably having the same sort of talking points. So we'll have to see. In relation to transfer news, we've been linked with Milinkovic-Savic and Vlahovic. As I always say, anything linking our players to Italian clubs, anything that comes out of the Italian media, and anything linking us with bringing players in from Italy, I am very pessimistic. And you've seen us, with Arfa, with Vlahovic, with Locatelli, with Xhaka's once upon a time move for 15 million euros to Roma, dodged a bullet. And there's probably more than I can count, people. Now, Juventus are struggling in terms of, it seems like a RICO case is pending. And obviously, Milinkovic-Savic's days at Lazio are numbered. Whether you're able to get him in the summer or Jan is another thing. Probably the summer, because he's contracted until 2024. I know some of you have said, will we really bring Milinkovic-Savic here when we have Xhaka? I'll leave you lot with that. But Arsenal try the double snub to Juventus, Milinkovic-Savic and Vlahovic. Now, I mean, I'd welcome Vlahovic and Milinkovic-Savic. We'd have a better striker than obviously Eddie Nketiah and potentially Balogun. Obviously, Jesus might not necessarily play through the middle, but he's an adaptable player. He can play everywhere. It makes us have a stronger side. And the same goes for central midfield, really. But Arsenal are ready to give Juventus a double snub to defend their unexpected lead in the Premier League, people. The Gunners are looking for reinforcements and are ready to deliver the decisive blow for Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and are thinking more of Dusan Vlahovic due to the injury of Jesus. According to this report, the Londoners would be pressing on the Lazio midfielder Lava, and would be willing to try an all-in in January to get ahead of the black and whites, Juventus. Milinkovic-Savic, who has always been reluctant to leave Italy, could, however, consider a possible rich offer from Arsenal, according to the Sun newspaper. So that probably tells you where this article goes and ends, really. The Gunners could return to thinking about the Juventus striker as early as Jan. Whether you're able to get them, who knows, people, but it is what it is. And apparently easier to convince Lazio, given Lotito's motto is pay money to see the camel, whatever that means. Milinkovic-Savic is fundamental to Sarri's team. I don't see them letting them go in January, but they've got a decision to make, between now and the summer. So we'll have to see how he or anyone with this contractual situation develops. Again, echoing that, Lazio transfer market for Milinkovic-Savic. Arsenal will also appear for January, people. Looking at the bulk of this, Juventus remains the first team on him, but in the meantime, Real Madrid and Arsenal have also decided to participate in the auction. The article's gone on to say, already in the summer, Arsenal made a survey for Milinkovic-Savic, who, however, did not seem to appreciate the new destination very much. So if he didn't want to sign, anything could change, but that probably tells you this is nothing more than just paper talk in relation to him. We can offer him an ambitious a project. We can offer him a very generous contract. We can obviously, you can see what Arteta is doing and how he could tie in and be a key player in the medium, short, and long term. But my opinion, not that I am informed or know anything, I think he goes Juventus, but who knows, people. It's unlikely he'll be able to leave the capital as early as January in the middle of the championship. Arsenal would be willing to take him into their team immediately to obviously bump ahead of the competition in Juventus, whose financial stuff or just as a club could look a lot healthier in the months that follow. So we'll have to see. And also Arsenal could have all the intent. We could do it, but we could have all the intention to bring him in the world. Maybe he says, you know what, I want to focus on the best I can do to see what offers, or maybe a better offer from Arsenal or Juventus or Madrid or any, United always linked with him, etc., etc. He might feel he deserves, or better yet, Lazio deserve a degree of loyalty from him. Again, I don't quite think they'll get the 100 million that Claudio Lotito mentioned a few months ago, but it is what it is. So that's Milinkovic-Savic, folks. I mean, this page hasn't been found. It's a bit of an L. Gunners receive major boost as club weighs up move for Joao Felix. Arsenal could make a move for Joao Felix in January after Atletico Madrid Supremo admitted the club are willing to sell the forward. Now, check out my YouTube playlist with all the other videos on transfer news. We did kind of cover that yesterday, or better yet, we did. We don't need any copyright claims. He's the biggest investment the club has ever made, and I think he's at the highest level in the world in terms of talent. But for reasons that are not worth going into now, the relationship with the coach, a number of minutes he's playing, his motivation, the reasonable thing is, if there is an offer that is good for the player and the club, that we at least analyze it. I would love him to continue, but that's not the player's idea. So what does that specifically tell you, people? That's someone that I don't really think his best position's a false nine at this moment in time, but can play up front, can play out wide, doesn't necessarily impact Gabriel Jesus through the middle. Obviously, the left wing is a bit of open season. Had Smith Rowe have been fit, it might have been his. Martinelli's taking advantage, and Smith Rowe, we're going to need him. Vieira, Locatelli, Eddie Nketiah, players that have been Tomiyasu, Tierney, players that have been a big part in the season for whatever reason. We're going to need them all to stand up to be counted. Whether we get a striker or a winger, I would like, obviously in both worlds, you would like both, regardless of the health status. But if you can get a winger or someone who can play out wide and perform out there and can play a bunch of other roles and actually do well at that, you see him start off the left for Portugal, why not? Do I see us getting Mudryk, Joao Felix, and a centre mid? Probably not. If it came to it, I'd prefer Joao Felix over Mudryk, but I think it's Mudryk and done. So we'll have to see what's been going on there. As we know, George Mendes is trying to get his client a new club. Agent can open path for player to join Arsenal. Club resigned to January exit, as we've kind of already alluded to with what their chairman has said. Again, check out my YouTube playlist for more. George Mendes, as you'd expect an agent, that's his job, to, if his client isn't happy, to find him a new job. They won't let him go for 100 million euros. Do we have 100 million euros to commit to him, whether it's loan with an option to buy, without necessarily confirming Champions League football? I don't know, people, but we'll have to see. This further confirms it. It said another path that can be open for Mendes and his client is the North London club because of Jesus' latest setback. It remains to be seen whether Arsenal would be willing to entertain Mendes and his desire to find Felix a new club. He's also been linked with Aston Villa. From Fabrizio Romano, it says Joao Felix has chances to leave Atletico in 2023. Asking price will be more than 100 million euros, around 120 million. That then it will depend on the proposals. It's too early to say where. His agent is exploring the market and speaking to many clubs. He dreams of the Premier League one day, people. I think Felix, would be perfect in any club in the world, but he's desperately needs to play. He has to be a star. And you, to be honest, if you're joining the PSGs, the Arsenals, Real Madrid, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, the teams he's been linked with, you might start, but it's not a guarantee. I just think he needs a bit of love. He wants to feel important to the project. I think he wants to feel a system at any club where, you know, it enhances attacking capabilities. And I would love Joao Felix because I think he's a good player. I think he's obviously got a lot of technical qualities in the attacking third of the pitch. I also feel one good product is obviously he's an offensive player that's played in a defensive system at Atletico. Now that's almost killed his abilities to show what he's really like. But in the modern game and specifically what Mikel Arteta wants, you know, Jesus is a lovely player on the ball, but it's what he does off it. You have more of an appreciation for the defensive aspect and the dirty aspect of the game. And I think off the ball, he would fit into what we want to do, to go with his technical ability, to go with a system, or better yet, a football club and a mantra that more fits him, emerging talents, attacking football, etc., etc. I'd love it to happen, but it comes down to money. Do we have 100 million without confirming other needs? I don't know. You know, more likely to be a loan with an option to buy, in my opinion. But my opinion is not informed. I'm just a football fan. I don't think we get him, but I didn't think we'd sign Aubameyang in January when we did. So take of that what you need, people. And I think this article is just speaking about things, and it's listed a lot of clubs, people. PSG, Manchester United, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Aston Villa, among others, saving the best till last, Arsenal. He has plenty of destinations to choose from. Not everyone can undertake a signing of this level in January, which will open in Spain on the 2nd of Jan. According to Goals Knowledge, although Atletico expect to receive proposals for the Portuguese in the coming days, the Mattress Club, Google Translate, whatever that means, has not yet received any official offer for Joao Felix, people. So it is what it is. And we've kind of seen the doors open, but you have to put the money down. They rejected around 80 million from Bayern Munich in January. I mean, in the summer. So what does that mean? We have heard that PSG are the front runners for such. And we have seen that his agent Mendes has a good relationship with Chelsea, and also Aston Villa are looking, people. So we'll have to see. And I mean, it only benefits Atletico Madrid if a bunch of Premier League players Premier League clubs are onto him, because it's going to be a lot of money. Apparently, the path to Barcelona is still open as well, another prestigious club. So we're going to have to see what's going on in that regards. Again, they will not let Felix leave for less than 100 million euros. Arsenal, PSG, Chelsea, Man United are all in the mix. Mendes is trying hard to find a new suitor. Loan with mandatory purchase option also possible. So again, it all depends what news outlet you want to read. Again, we all know Benassi and Rafa Leao's doing all right in the bit part role he's kind of playing for Portugal in the World Cup. Their contracts are running down at AC Milan. They're going to get linked with clubs, in it, people. And they've been once again linked with Arsenal. Well, Benassi has been linked with Arsenal, people. So yeah, and we do know he's changed his agent and the rest of it, people. Ironically, we will be playing AC Milan in a friendly, so maybe the businessman that control the decisions at Arsenal can have a conversation about it with their AC Milan counterparts. I mean, Carlos Soler has basically said he doesn't want to leave PSG in January, but allegedly PSG are willing to sell Carlos Soler, who has been linked with Arsenal. We've heard that a lot, people. Again, he's just joined. Is he going to give up 6 months before, 6 months into his tenure there? I'm not too sure. It all depends how you look at that, people. I'm told there is a very serious chance in relation to Cody Gakpo, says Fabrizio Romano. Specifically, what has he said, people? I want to start, of course, with Cody Gakpo. He has been incredible in the group stages with the Dutch national team, scoring 3 goals, 1 goal every game. He was also very good also in the game against the USA. So Gakpo is now showing on the best stage that he's ready for a top move, and he's been speaking once again about his move as well, people. Allegedly, long story short, we all know Man United wanted him in the summer. We all know PSV's initial plan was to let him go this coming summer of 2023, but the World Cup could accelerate plans. You know, if he has a World Cup that's decent, you're in the strongest position. If he then has a bit of a flat couple of months at club level, you can still get good money, but it might not be what it is now, you know, really. So it is what it is. Things are always going to fluctuate with these early emerging talents. He's not really emerging, but at 23 years of age, he's at the beginning stage of his career, and there's still a lot of refinement and defining he needs to do as an individual player. But I like what I see from him. Again, in relation to the pay people who could leave on a free transfer, the sporting director of Barcelona has said, we will see. Allegedly, it's been said he's always been a great professional. He can be really helpful. free agent in June. We'll see in the next months, and he's barely been playing, people. So we'll see what happens. He's been linked with Spurs. He's also said, why should we sell Depay in January? It's difficult to sign new players because of FFP. He's always been a great professional. He can be really helpful. Free agent in June, we will see in the next months. Again, correlating what Romano has said. Again, we all want these Brazilian youths. Palmeiras starlet Estavio Willian, a 15-year-old midfielder who I've only seen YouTube clips. I can't claim to know this one. We all know Endrick and them guys there, but he's been linked with PSG primarily. If there's quality players, go and get them. But at 15, he can't move to Europe unless he's got family in Europe and he was born here, or he's got a European passport, and there's bookie ways around the laws. Just like Endrick, he can't leave until he's 18. That's why I can't see Arsenal spending 50, 60 million on these kind of guys, because we're going to have to wait a couple of years where we do have money, but we're not the club to do that. And in terms of the immediate, what we need to do right now, probably need to spend that money a bit more wiser. But allegedly, Arsenal have made contact over this individual, people. Barcelona have also, along with Arsenal, have both reached out to his reps, people, and both plan to monitor Messi over the next 2 years before making official offers. As you do, he can't move until 2025. We're still in 2022. So again, and even at 18, you're not going to be the finished article, are you? So we're going to have to see. But with the Brazilian influence, I'm all for it. Leicester now confident Tielemans won't join Arsenal in Jan. And I think many people probably expect, if Arsenal are to get Tielemans, that he joins in the summer on a free, people. Leicester are now confident that Tielemans won't depart the club in Jan, with Arsenal the current favourites to sign the 25-year-old midfielder in the new year. The Foxes are hedging their bets that the Belgian international will remain at the club beyond the summer window, despite his contract coming to an end in the summer, meaning he's free to talk to teams in less than a month, and also free to leave in the summer, people. We've long been linked with him. This is a saga that it is what it is. It's gone on to say Arsenal could still make a move for Tielemans, but we're going to offer peanuts, which Leicester kind of have to take it or leave it, but still. We've been linked with Rabiot, and he's actually spoken about a move to the Premier League. He's actually played for City as a kid, Manchester City as a kid. Specifically, what has the French 27-year-old international and Juventus player said? It was a very good experience. I didn't do a whole season, though. Everything went well while I was there. I really liked the atmosphere. It was really something that is only in England. It's different from France and Italy. I've always said I'd like to play in England in my career. I still have that desire. I'd like to evolve in the Premier League. And he had an offer from Manchester United in the summer. For whatever reason, it didn't work. I haven't got a Premier League team in mind right now. I haven't chosen a team or anything. It's a general thing. And it's not going to make sense for him to say a specific club. It's the league. It's the level of play that's going on. That's what attracts me the most. It corresponds to my qualities. So we'll have to see, with his contract running down at Juventus and him being free to talk to foreign clubs in Jan and obviously leaving the summer of next year. We'll have to see. We've been linked with, again, correlating that Arsenal, Barca and PSG have been linked with Estavio Willian, or Messi, as the 15-year-old was referred to in a previous article. We've been linked with Denzel Dumfries as well, allegedly. We have proposed a player plus cash deal with Inter for Denzel Dumfries, which would see Tomiyasu depart. Not sure I believe that, or I'm for that you could bring Denzel Dumfries to the club, even though I'd like some parts of his game and don't like others, but not if it means Tomiyasu leaving. Unless Tomiyasu says, I want to leave, which changes the dynamic, then fair enough. 4 strikers are now on Arsenal's shortlist to replace Gabriel Jesus, allegedly, people. And pretty sure Tammy Abraham's one of them because he's in the picture. What are these 4 names? Cody Gakpo, Vlahovic, Tammy Abraham, Jonathan David. Jonathan David might be the easiest to obtain. He clearly wants to leave Leo. We have a good relationship with Leo, as shown with Pepe and Gabriel. Cody Gakpo, fairly attainable. Manchester United, for me, are the only competitors and they're the one that will probably win it. But he's done all he can to leave. PSV are resigned to losing him. Vlahovic is more taking advantage of what we've seen with Juventus and the talking points, pardon me, and obviously the fact of a year ago we tried to buy him, and we always have had an admiration for Tammy Abraham, and maybe he's available for cheaper because he's not really doing the business for Roma. So I'm not too sure if you believe any of these 4 names, people, but it all depends what you're looking at, people. I think it's a case of getting 2 and 2 and getting $1 million. Fabrizio Romano tells Arsenal that it would take a crazy bid to sign by an attacker. He has told Court Offside that it would take a crazy bid for Bayern Munich to sell Leroy Sane in the January window, people. Let's scroll down to specifically what he has said. There has been speculation, but there are no talks between Bayern and Arsenal for Sane. As of today, I don't see Bayern selling Sane in January unless a crazy bid arrives. Their plan is to continue with him, people. That's where you have it with that. So I think that is it. So yeah, we've spoken about Sane, Joao Felix, Denzel Dumfries, Rabiot, Messi in Brazil, Vlahovic technically, Tammy Abraham, Milinkovic-Savic, and if I've missed out any names, you lot have covered it. So as I always say, the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. Whether we sign these guys or anyone, it remains to be seen. I just hope Arsenal address the areas that we need to address, because one reason as to why our season didn't happen the way it needed to last season in terms of the ending was what we did or didn't do in January, among others. So yeah, people, appreciative of you lot supporting my content. As I said, please comment your opinions during the live chat of this premiering or also after. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. For any other transfer news, people, check out my other videos and also the YouTube playlist. Make sure you're following on all the socials, Deluded04 and everything. If you're only going to follow a couple of things, make sure you're checking out my YouTube community tab, Instagram and Twitter, because that's where I typically update you for new live streams, watch-alongs, etc. If you're watching this, then I'd like to think this has come out in time, but Arsenal are playing Lyon in the Dubai Super Cup, I believe it's referred to as. I'm doing a watch along an hour before kickoff live from 2:30. Most importantly, you lot stay blessed, stay safe, stay in good health, stay pursuing your goals. I appreciate all the support you lot give my videos. I'm very appreciative of how you lot have allowed us to grow our platform. And in that regard, stay blessed, stay in good health, DG Nation, and I'll see you in a bit. One love.
There's always that active red light defending.
I think it's like